On September 22nd, 1978, something changed in Seligman, Arizona. For decades, this town had been a stop on Route 66, part of the rhythm of the Great American Road Trip. Travelers from all over the world passed through, filling up at the gas stations, grabbing a bite to eat, maybe even stopping for a haircut at Angel Delgadillo's barber shop. Then came the opening of Interstate 40. Overnight, traffic disappeared. For many in Seligman, it felt like the town itself had disappeared. Businesses closed, streets emptied, the sound of road-tripping families was replaced by silence. Some people adjusted, found new paths, or moved on. Angel, however, saw an opportunity. What he did next didn't just help his own town, it helped bring back Route 66 itself. And what's remarkable is that his success wasn't about luck or privilege. It was about who he was. Hi, my name is Faye Angst, and Seligman's story is a real-life example of different personalities coming together to form a community. First described in the 1940s by psychologist D.W. Fisk and later expanded by Paul Costa and Robert McCrae, by examining the Big Five personality traits, also called the Ocean Model: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, we can better understand why Angel's endeavors led to the successful preservation of historic Route 66. In the years after Seligman was bypassed, Angel noticed something. The few travelers who still stopped in the barbershop often talked about Route 66 in a special way. They missed it. They called it the highlight of their road trips, a piece of the America of yesterday. Most people in town heard these stories as nostalgia. Angel heard them as something different, a way forward. What if Route 66 wasn't just a road people remembered? What if it became a destination, a place where travelers could experience classic Americana? The kind of thinking is a hallmark of openness to experience, a trait that Costa and McCrae described as curiosity, creativity, and a drive to explore new ideas. People who are high in openness tend to embrace change, experiment with possibilities, and think outside the box. Angel's ability to imagine a new future for Route 66 is the perfect example. But here's the important part. Not everyone is wired to think this way, and that's a good thing. Some people prefer tradition, structure, and time-tested approaches. That's valuable too. It provides stability and helps preserve what already works. A balance of perspectives is what keeps communities strong. In Angel's case, his openness allowed him to see an opportunity, but an idea alone isn't enough. The real challenge was making it happen. A vision needs action, and that's where conscientiousness comes in. Costa and McCrae describe conscientiousness as a combination of discipline, persistence, and organization. It's what turns ideas into reality. Angel didn't just talk about saving Route 66. He committed to it. For nearly a decade, he wrote letters, made calls, and met with local business owners. He and his wife, Velma, drove up and down the old highway, connecting with people in other bypass towns, building support one conversation at a time. It all came together on February 18th, 1987, when Angel gathered a group of people at the Copper Cart restaurant in Seligman. That night, they formed the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, the first organization of its kind. From there, the real work begins. The group launched a campaign to have Route 66 designated as a historic highway. At first, state officials were interested. Then they said the road wasn't in good condition. Instead of getting discouraged, Angel and his team found a solution. They worked with local government to improve the road, took detailed notes, and followed up relentlessly. By the end of 1986, Arizona officially recognized Route 66 as a historic highway. Other states followed. This is what conscientiousness looks like in action, step-by-step progress towards a goal. And just like openness, conscientiousness comes in different forms. Some people thrive in highly structured, long-term projects, while others prefer flexibility and spontaneity. Both are valuable. Some people plan the road trip, others just hit the road. The key is knowing how to use your strengths to move forward. Once Route 66 was recognized as a historic highway, the next step was getting people excited about it again. Angel didn't just sit back and wait for tourists to return. He went out and made it happen. He gave interviews, greeted tour buses, and waved to visitors from the sidewalk. He was constantly sharing stories, connecting with travelers, and spreading enthusiasm. That's extroversion, the trait that Costa and McCrae linked to sociability, assertiveness, and energy. People who are highly extroverted tend to thrive in social situations and gain energy from interactions. And in a movement like this, that energy was essential. But not everyone is an extrovert, and that's a strength too. Introverts bring depth, reflection, and strategic thinking. In any movement, you need both. The people who create the momentum and the people who ensure the momentum is going in the right direction. For Angel, extroversion was a tool. It allowed him to turn a cause into a community. But enthusiasm alone isn't enough to sustain a movement. You also need cooperation. And that's where agreeableness comes in. Costa and McCrae described agreeableness as kindness, trust, and a preference for working together. Angel didn't just fight for his business, he fought for the entire Route 66 community. He encouraged businesses to work together instead of competing. He built relationships with government officials. Within the historic Route 66 Association, he fostered collaboration, giving credit to others, and ensuring that everyone felt part of the mission. This is what agreeableness is such a powerful trait. It turns individual efforts into collective success. And just like the other traits, it comes in different forms. Some people lead with empathy and warmth, while others lead with the directness and efficiency. But both approaches are important. Progress requires both harmony and accountability. Finally, there's neuroticism, or more positively framed, emotional stability. This is about how we handle stress, uncertainty, and setbacks. Angel faced years of rejection. At any point, he could have stepped away, but he didn't. His ability to stay focused, even in difficult moments, was a defining factor in his success. People with high emotional stability tend to stay calm under pressure. Others experience emotions more intensely, which can bring deep insight and passion to their work. Both have value. Every great movement needs both the steady hand and the passionate hearts. Today on the Edge of Seligman, a sign welcomes travelers to the birthplace of historic Route 66. That sign represents more than a revival of tourism. It tells the story of what one person can do when they commit to their strengths and invite others in. Angel Delgadillo didn't bring Route 66 back alone, but he lit the spark. He had the vision to see a new future for an old road, the discipline to keep going when no one listened, the energy to spread the word, the kindness to build trust, and the emotional stability to stay the course. And through it all, he built something bigger than a business or a highway. He helped rebuild a community. That's the real lesson here. The revival of Route 66 didn't just come from one type of personality. It came from many. Angel's openness allowed him to imagine possibilities that didn't yet exist. His conscientiousness kept the work moving forward. His extroversion brought people in, his agreeableness united them, and his emotional stability helped him stay resilient through every obstacle. But each trait, no matter where someone falls on the spectrum, has something to offer. People who prefer routine help preserve traditions. Those who reflect quietly contribute clarity. People who feel emotions deeply bring empathy and urgency. Every strength matters. Community is built not by having the same traits, but by bringing different strengths to the same mission. Seligman found its voice again because Angel used his, and he made space for others to do the same. And that's the road ahead for all of us. Whatever challenges we're facing, whatever road we're trying to rebuild, we start where we are, being who we are.